If you smell... I am sure I'm the only one to make that original joke, but today we're looking at The Rock, directed by Michael Bay and released in 1996. I don't know, I just had the sudden urge to return to this. This was during Bay's early peak, where his first 3 major films delivered an entertaining trilogy. On either side of this were Bad Boys, which helped propel Will Smith to superstardom in his lovable team up with Martin Lawrence, and Armageddon, which is a major guilty pleasure. After all that, it went downhill from Pearl Harbor onwards. But the 90s were strong, and The Rock, in my mind, is undisputably his best and most well-rounded picture, with the assistance of legendary producing pair Simpson and Bruckheimer, although sadly Simpson wouldn't live to see it, as he passed away shortly before its release. Oh, many mad stories to tell about that guy, but I'll leave you all to do your own research. For now, let's actually get to reviewing this. Nicolas Cage plays Dr. Stanley Goodspeed, what a name by the way, a chemical weapons expert with an oddball personality, because of course Nick Cage is playing somebody with an oddball personality. He's weird but very likeable, and bringing the humour and his trademark wacky Cage energy to an otherwise cliche 90s geek role thrown into a scenario out of his element yet becomes the unlikely hero that you saw in many blockbusters of that time. Can I just say, I love the fact that after winning the Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas, instead of pursuing more dramatic high caliber roles, he said, screw it, I'm going to become an A-list action star, and that he did, starting here, following up with another couple of bangers, Con Air and Face Off. Oh, trust me, I am buzzing to review them someday. There's Sean Connery as Captain John Mason. Before talking about him, may I just add that the only reason he's involved is because the government somehow never kept up to date architectural plans of Alcatraz. You think they keep something like that locked away, decommissioned or otherwise, but whatever. He is superb in this, one of the last, if not the last strong role of his career. He is confidently unshaken, he's able to see past obvious tricks and false promises, he's damn intelligent, thinking one step ahead, and he's just a constantly commanding presence. I'm sure you've all heard the fan theory that Mason is actually a retired James Bond, from being MI6 to his handy skills, even the smart quips aplenty. And yeah, I'd say that'd be a fair assessment. There's even still a hint of his famous suaveness lurking there, just with a more gritty and edgier exterior, and more F-bombs squeezed into his zingers. Connery is a better Bond here than he is in Diamonds Are Forever, I'll tell you that for free. Naturally, Goodspeed and Mason team up, a classic case of polar opposite personalities forced to work together to save the day. Traditional, yet well executed, thanks to a strong, entertaining chemistry between the two. They're just so engaging. It's just like Will and Martin in Bad Boys. I could just watch these guys forever. Ed Harris is the villain Hummel, and what I like about him is that he's not an inherently evil guy. He lost many of his men and actively protested to the government about it. The government refusing to take accountability and screwing its people? Timeless. And because of that, he takes matters into his own hands and vows revenge with his plan in Alcatraz. And on top of that, he's a recent widow, so not only is he ridden with guilt, but he's grieving and left all alone without purpose or direction. Now, at the end of the day, he is definitely a villain, and definitely doing bad stuff that can't be justified, but you understand the tragic circumstances, and are towing the line of actually siding with him. It's just that he took it too far with this plan, which can't end well no matter what. Harris is plain riveting. In hands of a lesser actor, this character would be nowhere near as good. But we've got an elite tier pro, with lots of legitimate fury and passion, and a proper imposing authority behind him. What a stacked supporting cast this has. The intense Michael Biehn as Commander Anderson of the USN, William Forsythe with an unhealthy amount of hair gel as Paxton of the FBI, John Spencer is the perpetually angry director Womack, one of the all-time great supporting character actors, David Morse as Major Baxter, John C. McGinley as Hendricks, Tony Todd as Captain Darrow, Bokeem Woodbine as Crisp, Philip Baker Hall shows up as the Chief Justice, Stanley Anderson plays the President with his melodramatic speech, and a handful of fun extras and cameos get their chances to shine, like Anthony Clark as the insanely camp stylist. Not all are noteworthy though, like Stan's pregnant fiancée Carla. I totally forgot she was even a thing, and she's not terrible or anything, but yeah, she's forgettable. A mere expendable tool, just somebody for Stanley to come home to. Likewise with Mason's daughter Jade, as a matter of fact. One hang up I have with the screenplay is that especially in the first third, there is so much goddamn exposition spouted, right down to every single little detail about each of the characters, their motivations, their backstories, whatever. It's explained all in full, like they want to spell out everything for the viewers. It's not a deal breaker or anything, but I couldn't help but notice it this time around. We get a series of good highlights, like the break-in at the naval facility, Stanley defusing the bomb in the lab, the tour of Alcatraz, which in no time flat launched into the entire hostile takeover from Hummel and the Marine Corps. Welcome to the Rock, gentlemen. Hummel staking his claim in that phone call to the FBI, Mason being offered a deal, finishing with him smashing through the window, Mason attempting to escape from the hotel, and that subsequent car chase is probably the best sequence in the entire film. It is just a total blast. There's the break into the Rock, and the two teams confront each other with that epic shouting match between Harris and Bean, and the violent shootout that leaves only Goodspeed and Mason left. And from there, it's a series of the two doing their best to survive against the odds and defuse the weapons, finishing off with a chaotic climax where all hell satisfyingly breaks loose. The chemical VX gas weapons themselves, I wouldn't lie, they look a little silly, being these fluorescent green balls, but nonetheless, they actually come off as an intimidating threat. There's this lingering vibe of anxiety whenever they are nearby, and they get you shaking in your boots about the thought that they might go off and kill the people around them. Also, the whole thing is a time-sensitive situation, and you can feel that pressure to sort out before either Hummel unleashes his plan or the airstrike is sent in. There are very few moments where the camera is at a standstill, with John Schwartzman in the driver's seat. It's always moving, always on the go, he and Bay perfecting the art of key-waving cinematography, appealing best to those with the shortest attention spans, which actually helps us hold up well. Although it can go needlessly overboard when they're doing it in scenes where it's blatantly not required and it can be distracting. The worst case being when they're driving and it's frantically zooming in and out non-stop. Michael, my man, it's not necessary. Calm down, sweetie. This has a very good flow, and I find myself pretty much into it the whole way through. And the score, co-handled by Hans Zimmer and Nick Lenny Smith, rocks. No pun intended. It's energised, it's adrenaline tapping, it's triumphant, it makes you want to pump your fist in the air like, hell yeah dude. The Rock is the truest embodiment of an explosive action thriller, which delivers the exact result we want from this combination of a fresh, red-hot Michael Bay, a unit of great actors, and the backing of Simpson and Bruckheimer. It's an applause-generating popcorn picture that is worthy of its place in the Criterion Collection. Yeah, no joke. I'll finish off by saying, all hail Zeus in his mighty butthole, and don't forget, losers always whine about their best, winners go home and f*** the prom queen. I'm Jason, and this is Small Movie World, watching, talking, and loving films.